Picture this. A young German monk trembling with determination nails a piece of parchment to a church door in Wittenberg. The year is 1517, and this seemingly simple act would spark a revolution that would change Christianity forever. This is the story of Martin Luther, the monk who dared to challenge the most powerful institution of his time. Born into a humble family in 1483, young Martin was destined for a career in law. At least that's what his father wanted. But fate had other plans. One stormy night, caught in a terrifying thunderstorm, Luther made a desperate promise to God: "Save me and I'll become a monk." He survived, and true to his word, he abandoned his legal studies and entered the monastery. But life as a monk didn't bring Luther the peace he sought. He was tormented by an overwhelming sense of unworthiness before God. No matter how many hours he spent in prayer, how strictly he followed the rules, or how harshly he punished himself, he couldn't find the certainty of salvation he desperately craved. Then came the moment that would change everything. While studying the Bible, Luther discovered something revolutionary in Paul's letter to the Romans: "The just shall live by faith." These words hit him like a bolt of lightning. Salvation, he realized, wasn't earned through good works or bought through indulgences. It was a gift from God, received through faith alone. This revelation led Luther to question many of the church's practices, particularly the selling of indulgences, documents that supposedly reduced time in purgatory. When Johann Tetzel, a notorious indulgence seller, came near Wittenberg preaching, "As soon as the coin in the coffer rings, the soul from purgatory springs," Luther had enough. His response? The famous 95 Theses, a detailed critique of the church, his practices that he nailed to the castle church door. Thanks to the recently invented printing press, copies spread throughout Europe like wildfire. What started as an academic debate turned into a movement that would split the Christian church and change the course of history. Luther didn't just challenge the church's authority, he revolutionized how people thought about their relationship with God. He translated the Bible into German, allowing common people to read scripture for themselves for the first time. He championed education for all children, both boys and girls. He even married a former nun, breaking centuries of tradition and establishing the Protestant view of clergy marriage. The monk who once feared God's judgment became the voice of millions, showing them a path to a more personal, direct relationship with God. Today, 5 centuries later, Luther's impact still echoes through the halls of churches worldwide, reminding us that sometimes one person's courage to question and seek truth can change the world forever. And perhaps that's the most powerful lesson from Luther's story. Real change often begins with a single person, willing to stand up for what they believe in, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. The monk who changed the church forever shows us that sometimes the most revolutionary act is simply daring to ask questions and seeking answers for ourselves.